Hello everybody, so glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to today's video. You'll notice I'm still in the office, and if you've been paying attention for the last little bit of time to what's going on around here, it's been about a month since I've done a street photography video, which brings me to why I'm doing this video instead. So what I'm going to share are some thoughts. Think about how Sean Tucker does things. If you don't know who Sean Tucker is, he's one of my favorite YouTube photographers. I'll leave a link to his stuff down below. Think about this as Sean Tucker light from America from a slightly older person. Anyway, before I get into the topic of the video, I'd like to encourage you to stay tuned till the end of the video because I'd like your input. And what I'd like your input into is some cover photos, take your opinions on them that I'm selecting for my next zine of photos from street photography. So stay tuned to the end. I'll have those coming up at the end of the video. Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about seasons of photography. Now, I'm not thinking about seasons like winter, spring, summer, and autumn. I'm thinking about our seasons, us as people, how we go through seasons. And I think it's helpful to think about it as seasons because when we think of seasons, we think of something that lasts for a period of time. It has somewhat of a beginning, potentially an end, but it's not just a day, it's not a one-off, it lasts a little bit longer. So that's what I thought I'd share about today. And I'm going to share 4 seasons, it seems appropriate, that I've experienced and noticed in my photography journey so far. Also invite, if you have other things that you're aware of seasonally in your life that affect your photography, I invite you to share those below as well. So in these 4 seasons, in the way I'm thinking about them, there's 2 that are internal, and then there's 2 that are external circumstances that affect things. So let's start with the first one. The first one that most people think about when they think of seasons and why you're maybe struggling to do photography is mood. And I can relate. So I'm a little bit in a mood about street photography, particularly right now, and I'll get into that in a minute a little bit more. But also, these are, while I'm enumerating them discreetly, they tend to overlap. They tend to intersect with each other. There tends not to just be one thing. So while there's mood, it's affected by the other elements I'll talk about as well, the other seasons. So related to mood, that can be, you're just not feeling it. You're not feeling creative. You just don't even want to. You're feeling unmotivated. That happens. And that's okay. I think the struggle is, at least for me, is to know when I need to push through the mood and go create in spite of the mood, or when I need to go ahead and just be with the mood. And I haven't figured that all out yet. Although I do know that the times where I haven't felt like getting out and going to make photos, when I've done it, even if I haven't gotten photos I'm excited about or interested in, I'm still glad I did it. So I've hardly ever had a moment where I've just not feeling it, and I've gone out and created photos, and I felt worse than if I had stayed home and played on my iPad or watched Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. By the way, if you haven't watched that show, highly recommend it. So Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus. Anyway, so mood, understanding when you lean into it, when to push through it. Related to that, I know when I'm stressed, I kind of tend to do one of 2 things around creating, and especially in photos. I tend to either kind of go into a funk where I don't feel like doing anything, or I go into a bit of a frenzy when I feel like creating lots and lots and lots of things. I don't know that either one is super helpful or healthy, but so find, being aware of where you're at and naming your mood, naming your feeling, understanding the underlying reasons for that can be really helpful to get through and move into and through that season. Being aware what's causing that mood for you. All right, the second thing I'm thinking about, the second season I'm thinking of is schedule. That's just the calendar of our lives, the way our work lives, our creative lives, our personal lives, all the things that we do as human beings in this busy and frenetic world, the way they affect our ability to go out and make photos. And sometimes our schedules allow it more readily than others. Currently, my schedule is not super friendly to going out and creating photos. I have 2 days a week where I'm off. They're Tuesday and Thursday, and I have to do other things of life as well, of adulting. Doggone it, they didn't tell me about that when I was growing up in the 70s. There'd be responsibilities. So finding time in the midst of that, in the midst of the reality of my schedule, is complicated at times. And sometimes it's okay to take a break. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I know during the pandemic time when I was teaching online completely, and I recorded all the videos, so it was asynchronous learning. And then I had so much free time for the 3 quarters that I had already recorded the video and had to do mostly admin and grading. I had so much free time to go out and create, and that's partially what allowed me to create this channel. So that time has passed, that season has passed. I'm looking not too far into the distant future of potentially retiring, which blows my brain, but that's a long way down the road, relatively. Anyway, so that season, the current season I'm in of 2 jobs, part-time jobs, creating content for you all that I enjoy, and then finding time to do photos in the midst of all that is a season right now for me, and learning how to live with that rhythm, being aware of what's realistic, what's helpful, what's healthy. Again, that awareness word, being thoughtful about what is realistic for you to do in any given schedule season of your life. The third season I want to talk about is another internal one, and that's where sometimes your creative energy gets directed to other places. And again, I can speak from a little bit of experience on this. Personally, right now, I'm a little more interested creatively in spending some energy in doing graphic designy things. Partially, that's why I'm getting into creating the zine again, doing that, thinking about some of the design things I can do at the camera store, some of the design things I can do for classes. So I've got some creative energy around that that's been out of season for me for a little while. So I want to pay attention to that and find out how that affects my photos. So related to that, I think creative outlets help inform each other. Whatever your creative outlet might be, again, being aware of how that intersects with the other creative elements of your life. Maybe you enjoy cooking. Maybe you make photos then of your cooking process. Maybe you write music. Maybe you record a video about the music you create. Maybe you garden. All the things that we can do creatively. Think about how it can intersect with the other creative elements in your life and enrich all the things by doing that, intersections. So that's the thoughts on finding creative energy in other places to help increase or inform creativity around photography that season. And then the fourth season I'm thinking about in my brain and experiencing personally is all the stuff in the universe beyond our control. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but here in the US, we're having this thing called a presidential election and a bunch of whole other elections as well. And it's a bit of a big deal. It's hard to avoid, and it's somewhat an existential crisis and angst. So that's the reality. There's sometimes external stresses, external factors that are just beyond your control. And being aware of how that impacts your mood, your schedule, and how you might create is really powerful in naming and being aware of why or why not you feel like creating photos right now. In the end, being aware of these seasons, I think, is really helpful. And my overall goal in thinking about them, naming them for myself, is to give myself grace to be in the moment that I'm in, be in the season that I'm in. And I hope you find that helpful too. We all experiencing seasons of our own in different ways, in different times, for different durations. So there's no one way to do this creative journey for any of us. And the way we do it today will be different than maybe we did it 5, 10 years ago, and it will be different than we do it tomorrow. So I guess overall in this, I would say be gracious to yourself. Talk to other people because you're not alone in this. Connect here on this channel if that's helpful. To speak about the things you're going through, to find other resources to help you move through your seasons. Again, you're not alone. You've been through it before. You'll probably be through it again. So Yeah, one step at a time. All that fortune cookie wisdom, which is still wisdom in a way. So I hope you find that helpful. Again, if you have other thoughts you would like to add to this conversation around seasons and creating photos or other things creatively, invite your participation down below. So hang around for one more minute. I've got one more thing I'd like to do with you, which is to share 5 photos I'm considering for using in the cover of my new zine. The theme for the zine I'm calling Alone Together. Photos of individuals in the midst of busyness. So let me know in the comment below which one you like better or best, or thoughts or suggestions. I really appreciate your help with this. Thank you very, very much. My hope is to publish this by the end of the year. If not, it'll be early part of 2025. So again, thank you very much. Here come the photos. All right, so here's idea number 1, picture at the Bellevue Transit Center downtown in black and white. I'm showing them mocked up in the cover. Here's number 2 from the ferry, Bremerton Ferry coming back into Seattle. Photo number 3, gentleman walking in downtown Bellevue from across the street in the shaft of sunlight. Number 4, another person, orange on yellow. I really like how this lined up. That's pretty fun. And then lastly, this photo, number 5, this gentleman walking across one of the short sky bridges near Bellevue Square, the Bellevue Collection. So yeah, that's some thoughts on the photos that I'm thinking for including on the cover of the new zine. That 5th one, I kind of am biased. I do like it quite a bit. It's right here. I have some new prints on my walls. Here's the one from last zine. That was the cover of the last one. Who knows, maybe the other ones will end up there too, eventually someday. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope these thoughts have been helpful, encouraging to you as you consider what season you may or may not be in, or what season you're transitioning into in your photography journey. I hope it all goes well. I'm glad to be a resource to you if helpful. And again, comments below can be a great way to have a conversation. I look forward to that. I do anticipate getting out to do some street photos in a couple days, actually, if the weather cooperates. So I look forward to seeing you in that future video. So until we meet again, I hope you stay safe, stay well, and have fun creating photos. Bye for now.